This Colt Walker reproduction from Uberti has been one of the biggest stars on my channel. Viewers always receive it well. I get a lot of compliments on it. Great gun, lots of fun to shoot, and I'm so excited to bring you along on this little project I'm having done with it. I'm Dustin, and you're watching Guns of the West. For as long as I've had this channel about these cap and ball revolvers, or at least it's largely about cap and ball revolvers, I've had viewers ask me over and over again to please do videos on conversion cylinders for these revolvers. And those are the ones, of course, that allow you to shoot the modern ammunition, even smokeless ammunition as long as they're not overpowered, in your cap and ball revolvers. So let's see what I've got going on here. That is exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video. And I just received this from Kirst. Let me get this big box out of the way. This is the box I received from Kirst. I decided I like the historical nature of the Kirst converters, especially for the Colt style. Those other ones you see with the multiple firing pins and the plate that comes off, those are more like something that would have been on a Remington revolver, though you can get them for the Colt styles now. But I really like what I see in the Kirst. So let's go ahead and open this up. Take a look at what I've got here. Now you might be wondering why the large box if the cylinder can just fit right here, which it does. Let's do a little unboxing for you. Again, this is for the Walker revolver. A little instruction pamphlet there. And here, work it out of this wrapping. Here is the cylinder. So that's the cylinder itself. This is the plate that goes on the gun and basically just stays there on the gun. And then it's got the loading gate, like you see on a single action Army, so you can load your cartridges in. So the cylinder goes over the arbor like this, goes up against there, open up the loading gate, and just like loading a single action Army, there are your chambers for 45 Colt. If I didn't mention already, that's the caliber that this will be. So, why the big box then? Well, it's going to take some gunsmithing on the Walker here. It does not have a big enough cutout. Most cap and ball revolvers, if any, don't. I don't think any of them do, have a big enough cutout to get cartridges in there once that cylinder's in place. So it's going to need some metal removed, and it may need a little tender love and care with the fit and finish. And I've decided I won't be doing that myself. I'm going to send this in to the gunsmith that Kirst uses and let the professional do it. So they sent me this box. I'm going to pack up my Walker in the box. I apologize if you hear the lawnmower going next door. And then I will place my Kirst cylinder back in here. So let's go ahead and get it back into its packaging. I'm just bringing you all along with the process. So this video is going to take a good while because obviously I'm going to send it off today. But then the waiting game begins. Go ahead and get this wrapped back up, get it back in its box, the Walker secured in the bubble wrap. I'll go ahead and put the paperwork back in it. Nice tight fit, but I like that. The Walker won't be bouncing around. Oh, whoops, I did forget the other piece of foam though. Might as well put it all. That'll be nice and tight for sure. All right, I'm just going to get that packing taped up and off it goes, and I'll bring you right back in when I get it back from them. Now, just for the sake of time, as you saw, I just shoved all that paperwork back in the box, but if you do buy a Kirst converter and you're sending it to their gunsmith, make sure you do read that instruction form and fill out the form that needs to be filled out, and include that completed form and a copy of your driver's license to prove your age. Well, anyway, all that you saw so far was recorded on October 8th, 2022, and today the UPS man just stopped by, and it is October 31st, Halloween Day. So it took a few weeks, but it's here. I've not opened the box yet, but let's dive in together and see how it turned out. All right, well, all I've done so far is just cut the tape away, but I want you to be here with me for the first look at the results of this little project. Here's the box again. Get rid of the large one. Oh, we've got more tape here. Let's just cut that away. Now we're in business. That comes with, just shows my invoice there. Here's the cursed converter again with its instruction booklet. And immediately I can already see some work had been done there. It looks like that has been filed, and I may go back and re-blue that, but it looks like it has been taken down in order to fit on the walker. And let's see what other gunsmithing has been done. Oh, big time. Well, at least noticeably. But the nice thing is, even after this is done, this gun will still work just fine as a cap and ball revolver. But one thing that may have jumped right out at you as it did at me, look how much metal was removed there. But the finish is still very nice. Their gunsmith made very good corners. That feels just like Uberti. You know, on some guns, Pieta, for example, and nothing against Pieta. I own a lot of them and love them, but they, as you know, they can have very, very sharp corners. These feel really good, just like all the factory corners that Uberti made. So far, very impressed. And of course, you know, maybe if you're new to revolvers, the reason for that cutout is so that those 45 Colt cartridges can slide in. Otherwise, there's not enough room for them. Well, obviously, we're going to have to take the gun apart. I think I might have to grab my... Oh, no, wedge wasn't pushed in too tight, so we'll just do it by hand. Pull this to half cock, and we'll take the black powder cylinder off. And if you're wondering why they didn't just ship it back with the cursed on there, well, that has to do with the laws. They can't do that, but if as long as it's just black powder stuff, they can just ship it, and then the cylinder can just be in the box. Well, now, let's slide the cursed on there. I like the look of it already with that loading gate. Push that back in. All right, and at half cock, functions. Let's check out the loading gate. Look at that. That is awesome. Just like a single action army in function, but in the big, massive, and beautiful Colt Walker. Now, just to check the fit of the cartridges, I have some dummy rounds right here. I happen to just have 4 of them, but that's okay. We don't need to fill the cylinder in this video. We're just checking the fit. So if we were loading this, just like on a single action army, that would drop right in, and that dropped in perfectly. Let's go ahead and put in the 4 that I have. Everything is working smooth. It's all locked up. And again, those are just dummies. There's no primers or powder or anything. Let's see. Everything functions right. You can see the little, maybe you can't, lighting. Oh, there you go. Not great lighting, but you can see where the little plunger thing is for the firing pin. And you know, I've heard on some of these cursed converters that this back ring here can be a bit wobbly, especially on Pieta. And it's not necessarily the fault of curse. It's kind of the way Pieta has changed over the years in the shape of their frame. But on this Uberti, I mean, yeah, I could say I can get a little tiny bit of play out of it, but it's perfectly fine. It's not even enough that it would ever hinder loading or probably even be noticed, really. So that is a perfect fit. Their gunsmith did an absolutely outstanding job on this. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and be here with me for part 2. And we'll get out to the shooting range and actually shoot some 45 Colt in this. I really just could not be any happier with the way that this turned out. Their gunsmith from Curse did an absolutely beautiful job. Everything works smoothly just like it did before, but now in 45 Colt. And you could, keep this in mind, you could get one of these and install it yourself, but you can see there is some substantial metal to remove from this and possibly from the cursed equipment itself. I don't trust myself to do that and not mess up my gun, and I happen to love my Walker, and Walkers are some of the more expensive cap and ball revolvers, so I decided to let their gunsmith do it, and now that I've done that and seen the beautiful quality of the work, that's the only way I'm going to recommend doing it. If you buy from Cursed, let them send you the box with the cylinder as they did for me. Send the gun and cylinder back to them. Let them do it, because just look at that. And one thing, just to be fair, I will mention, you may have seen on some websites, there are other companies' conversion cylinders too that maybe don't require the effort, but look at them though. I'm not a big fan of them. especially because historically they were really made only just for the Remington revolvers, at least virtually. You know, if I never say never, somebody will find an example of something, but typically those would have been more like for Remingtons. And there's a firing pin for every chamber. I don't like that because I don't like having them exposed out on the sides where something could hit them and have them go off, kind of like a chain fire would be when you're shooting cap and ball. This, I think, is better, safer, and you don't have to take the cylinder off every time you load the gun, and you absolutely do with those other ones. Now, does the Curse cost a little bit more? Yeah, to be honest, it does, but there's an old saying that I totally agree with. Better to cry once when you buy it than to cry every time you use it. Go with this one, guys. I'm absolutely happy with this and can't wait to get out and film part 2 and actually shoot some 45 Colt in the massive Walker revolver. Well, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video today, maybe even found it helpful and informative. Don't forget to click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. And as always, if you look in the description, you'll see where to find me on social media and where to find great Guns of the West products. And if you happen to be watching this on Halloween Day 2022, the day I release it, there's a coupon code, Halloween, that can be used at checkout at gunsoftheweststore.com today only for 10% off your entire order. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching.